Hey everybody, time for another brief video here at Poor Redneck World. Today I want to talk a little bit about doing your own automotive repair and what can happen if you don't do it correctly. Uh, if you're going to do your own repairs on your own car, truck, whatever the case may be, that's great. If you're inclined to do so, you've got a place to do it at, you've got tools to do it with, and you've got the right parts, you know what you're doing, that's awesome. Save some money, save some time instead of taking it to a mechanic that you may not necessarily know. There's a lot of crooked shops out there, so if you can avoid that sort of circumstance, more power to you. However, when you're taking your vehicle apart to repair whatever it is that you've got to repair, pay attention to the little bits and pieces that you remove, what they are, where they go, and how they go in. Because those little bits and pieces, those seemingly insignificant little parts, can play very big and very important roles to the safety and functionality of a vehicle, especially safety. The automotive designers and manufacturers usually don't make it a point to stand there in front of blueprints and say, "Hey y'all, let's add one more part right there, just for shits and giggles." Most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time, if there's a part there, it's there to serve a purpose. And if it's anything to do with mechanicals or structure, that purpose is important. So that having all been said, that brings us to this truck. This is a 97 Ram 1500 four-wheel drive. This truck belongs to a friend of my friend. It's on his dad's, my friend's dad's property right now. So anyway, the owner of the truck decided it needed a universal joint. And a universal joint is not entirely all that difficult to replace. I've replaced a few in my life on a van and trucks and such like that. It's, not all that difficult. Well, when he replaced the Ujoint, went to the parts store, bought the new unit, took it apart, installed the new one. He was either not paying close enough attention when he took it apart, or he just honestly didn't know what he was doing. I'm not really sure entirely what the situation may have been, but there is a retainer clip for the U-joint that, it's a retainer clip. It's small, seemingly insignificant. Well, a retainer clip is there to retain something, hence the name retainer clip. Well, he didn't put it in. He just knocked, and this is from what I've been told. I haven't really met the man, and I haven't been there for the repairs, but excuse me, he did not install the retainer clip. Instead, he just knocked the new U-joint into place and said that ought to do it. Well, I think you know where I'm going with this now. Just slapping the sucker in there and not putting anything to retain it is not going to get it. So he ended up taking the vehicle out on the road, out on the highway, and the universal joint failed. It fell out. He's damn lucky the truck didn't pole vault itself into the air. I have seen the aftermath of that sort of thing happening. Of a truck going down the road and the U-joint come out, drive shaft hits the highway, hooks a distortion in the road, and pole vaults the truck up into the air. So I've seen the aftermath of that kind of thing happening. Well, anyway, obviously it didn't flip, but it did do some damage. And you want to see what kind of damage it did by not putting a simple retainer clip into the universal joint when he installed everything? Well, let's go take a look and see. And let's not step on the dog in the process. Move it, Dolly. That's our helper dachshund. Dolly. Okay. Alright. There it is. Right there. That is or was, the transfer case for the four-wheel drive. And it's obviously broke, half in two. The drive shaft was battering between the highway and the bottom of the truck, and this was the result. He eventually lost the drive shaft. Not that it would have been any good after that. Sure, it's a twisted, mutilated piece of nothing now, but never did find it. He called my friend and said, "Hey, can you come down and get my truck? I think my transmission just went out. It won't go any farther." Well, gee, I wonder why. Without a drive shaft, it's kind of hard to go someplace. Well, he went out with the flatbed and loaded the truck up and looked underneath and said, "No, your transmission didn't go out, but your drive shaft is gone and your transfer case is broken too." So this is what can happen if you fail to pay attention and install the smallest of parts, or install certain components correctly. You can cause catastrophic failure, and that's what happened here. This is catastrophic failure. And unfortunately, repairing it's going to take a little bit. We thought we located. There's a U-Pullet style auto salvage not too far from here. And he called and they said, "Yep, we'll sell you the transfer case and the drive shaft for a $100 bill." Well, he went up there and every Dodge transfer case and drive shaft associated with it is gone. And we couldn't find another one in any salvage yards anywhere near that price, and you're not going to, not really anyway, not something that's usable. I think the best deal we've come across so far is transfer case, and the salvage yard doesn't sell salvage drive shafts because they pick the trucks up with a forklift, and that tends to bend the pest out of them. But they have the equipment to fabricate custom drive shafts on site. So they told my friend, "We'll sell you the transfer case and a custom fit drive shaft for $400 plus tax." And I think that's the direction that they're probably going to go, unless I can manage to locate another transfer case that's in good condition. So anyway, this is what can happen if you slip up and miss a real simple part. You can end up causing a lot of grief. In this case, a repair that probably cost them, I don't know, what's a Ujoint cost for an early model, like a late 90s, 70s, I can speak, I really can. A late 1970s, 97 rather. Where'd I get 70s? God, it's been a long work day. Okay, let me try that again. How much would a universal joint cost for a late 90s Ram 4-wheel drive truck cost? I'm thinking maybe 25 bucks. Maybe 30. I wouldn't see any more than that. So anyway, $30 repair maybe plus tax just turned into darn near $450, all said and done, because obviously we got to get a new U-joint and a drive shaft and a transfer case, well, and fluid, come to think of it. So yeah, cheap repair just got a whole lot more expensive. Alright, well, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you, was what can happen if you overlook something simple. You can end up having a busted cleaning two transfer case. And man, let me tell you, I've never seen this. I mean, I've seen transfer cases broken, usually associated in some way with off-road mishaps, so to speak, or accidents, such as throwing it off the highway at high speed into a ditch. I've seen that happen. I mean, I've seen broken transfer cases before, but I've never seen a transfer case broken half simply by a well, a drive shaft malfunction. I guess that's not quite as simple, is it? Alright, well, anyway, there it is. Broken transfer case. Associated and directly caused by improperly installed universal joint on a 97, not a 77. I don't know why I was talking in the 70s a minute ago. That's a 10-hour day for you. Work your butt off, but anyway, too bad. I mean, it's not a bad looking truck. Been lifted. Got some knobbies on it. I can't say that I'm thrilled with the color, but apparently this individual is infatuated with black. Nice. Oh yeah, and then there's the other Ram 1500 that he's been working on. I think that project has stalled at the moment. Still no title on it. The engine is bad. It knocks and smokes like a freight train. Then there's another Ram 1500 over there, the burgundy one with the bed sitting next to it. I think he's opting to get that one going, and he wanted to take the the standard. He wanted to take the standard transmission out of that and stick it in there, but I don't know what he's planning on doing anymore. It's like the weather in Arkansas. What they say, if you don't like the weather, stick around for a couple of hours, it's likely to change. Well, that's kind of like my friend and his projects. Alright, well, I'm going to close this video out by saying thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, and in fact, if you've ever experienced anything like this before, this particular style of failure, post it. Put it in the comments. I'd like to hear it, because I've never seen it before. But, alright, I'm going to get off here and leave this at a 12-minute video. Thanks for watching.